What did your teacher do that made you call them the worst teacher ever? It wasn't a teacher, but the school librarian I'd bump heads against on what I was and wasn't allowed to read. She had learned I was dyslexic from my speech therapist that went to warn her that as part of my therapy I would be taking out a larger amount of reading material than usually permitted for grade 5/6 student. However, the therapist didn't mention I would be taking out the young adult literature and not the picture books reserved for the special needs kids and younger grades. She was so stubborn on not letting me sign out the books even the grade 12s were struggling with in English. I would sit in the library during recess and an hour after school, just to read through the entire young adult section on my own. The teacher in charge of supervision during recess didn't like that I would sit inside all day, but didn't want to get into an argument with either my therapist or the librarian. The only books I ever got a poor score on when the school introduced mandatory reading quizzes to gauge what reading level you could check out was Black Beauty and Anne of Green Gables. I hated those books, the story was boring and I couldn't be bothered at the time to memorize parts for the quizzes to at least pass the requirements for approval for more books at that level. The worst part was there wasn't any alternative books I could have read that would have interested me, so I could pass the level cap.